Mark Rogers TV, week 11 of our college football predictions. Through 10 weeks, here's our record 158 and 35 straight up. We've got 100 wins, 82 losses against the spread. We're really proud of these confidence picks. Listen up for those. We've got two of those coming up later in this edition. 17 and 5 in our confidence picks against the spread, and we've hit 6 straight. 17 and 5 confidence picks. Illinois, Michigan starts us out in the Big Ten. This was a 67-65 game last season, multiple overtimes. Illinois not scoring anything close to those kind of points. 28 in their last 3 games, all losses after the 6-0 start. Michigan struggling against quality teams on the road. This game in Champaign, we like Illinois to bounce back. Take Illinois +1 against Michigan. Clemson, Wake. And we've got Clemson bouncing back from a loss against Georgia Tech by 2 touchdowns last week. Clemson back at home. Wake's had a nice season, but the Tigers too fast, too talented, too much for Wake Forest. So Clemson wins this one -16.5 as well. Kansas State, Texas A&M. This a game, kind of the overachievers versus the underachievers. The ultimate in this matchup this season, because Kansas State came into the season and was on nobody's radar. Texas A&M on everybody's fringe national championship list. But Texas A&M has lost 4 close games. They've blown huge leads at halftime. We know the story. They've got a lot of talent on offense in particular. Kansas State, poised, tough as nails, have just gone down in the last few weeks to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. If you caught the game against the Cowboys, Kansas State showed us a passing attack for the first time and put up 45 against Oklahoma State. I like Kansas State against Texas A&M to win it outright, so take the 5 points as well. In a confidence play, Kansas State +5 against Texas A&M. Boise, TCU, these two teams, the BCS Busters that have broken in against the big boys in recent years, but TCU in no class compared to Boise State this year, and the Broncos break out in a big way, and down the Horned Frogs take Boise -15.5. Florida State, Miami, this is the game of the 1980s and the 1990s. Neither club has reached expectations the past few years, in particular Florida State this year, but the Seminoles playing better as of late with 4 consecutive wins. They will win the game outright. We like the Canes, though, in a close matchup, +9.5 points. West Virginia, Cincinnati. Yeah, the Bearcats have a big winning streak going with 5 straight wins, but have not beaten anybody impressively or beaten anybody halfway decent. West Virginia lost to Louisville last week. They've fallen on hard times to an extent in the Big East race, but we like Geno Smith and the passing offense at West Virginia to win on the road. Take West Virginia plus the 3.5 points as a bonus against Cincinnati. Texas, Missouri. We don't really compare these teams in terms of talent. Texas, a better football team. Sure, it's at Missouri, but we like the Longhorns here, -1 point. Nebraska and Penn State. We know the disgusting tragedy that has happened in Happy Valley. In terms of football, who knows how this is going to affect players and coaches. Penn State, we would think, would come out fighting, would rally, but when the adversity comes at some point in the football game, what's going to happen? Just to look at the X's and O's, flat out, Penn State can get it done defensively, offensively. They're still in the prehistoric times. They have looked horrible offensively. Nebraska, not great themselves. The Big Ten has a lot of teams that should be ranked in the 15 to 20 range as we see. Good teams in the Big Ten, no great team in the Big Ten. Nebraska, better than Penn State overall with Taylor Martinez making some plays on offense. Wins it and take the Huskers -3 in Happy Valley. Okay, Michigan State, Iowa. Michigan State just flat out better, more talented, faster team with a better quarterback. Iowa is playing at home, but we like Michigan State -2.5 in that one. Arkansas, Tennessee, take the Hogs minus the 14 points there. South Carolina, Florida in the SEC. The Gamecocks still hoping for a Georgia loss so they can sneak into the championship game. So take the Gamecocks -3 against Florida. USC, Washington. The Trojans gave Stanford all they could handle a couple weeks ago. We like USC to win it, but Washington to keep it close. Take the Huskies plus the 11.5 points. Georgia-Auburn, we think this one is way off the charts in terms of the point spread. Georgia is good, getting better. They control their own destiny in the Eastern Division of the SEC to get to the SEC championship game, but we like Auburn plus 12.5 points. So Georgia wins. Take Auburn plus 12.5 points in a confidence play in the SEC. Bama, Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, a fine team, but Bama out to prove something after the loss at home to LSU to get themselves inching toward the national championship game once again. Despite that loss, take Bama minus 18 in Starkville. Wisconsin, Minnesota, the Badgers, probably the best team in the Big Ten. Whether they'll get to show it in the championship game, we don't know. Wisconsin did hang 62 on Purdue, so the Badgers continue to roll. Take Wisconsin, even at Minnesota, minus the 27 points. LSU, Western Kentucky, Tigers roll in this one, the number one team in the land, minus 41.5 points. Oklahoma State and Texas Tech with the one huge win against Oklahoma. Otherwise, a marginal football team with the passing attack that they've got, but no defense whatsoever. Oklahoma State, playing for a national championship, will cover the 17 points against Texas Tech. And finally, the game of the week, Oregon-Stanford. The winner of this game takes a huge step, especially if it's the Cardinal, in securing a national championship title game spot. Andrew Luck against that Oregon defense. We expect this one, even at Stanford, to turn out much like last year's game. Closer, but still too much speed, too much of a dynamic offense for the Oregon Ducks in taking on Stanford, despite the best player in college football. We like Oregon over Stanford and take the Ducks. Of course, we'll take them plus the 3.5 points as well. Those are our picks for Week 11 on Mark Rogers TV. Would love to hear what you have to say on college football this weekend.